Sportz Blitz Live is on the air. News, scores, predictions. Sportz Blitz Live with your host, Brett Pritchard, Luke Robinson, and Randy Lee. Call 800-782-0108. Auburn.
45, 50, 45. There goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is going to run it all the way back.
Alabama.
38 pounds and 80 yards.
And the latest in high school sports.
Yes, he is. Touchdown.
It's Sportz Blitz Live now. Brought to you by S&S Discount Tire and JR's Sports Bar and Grill.
Hello again, everyone, and good Tuesday evening. Andy Graham and Luke Robinson here with another edition of Sportz Blitz Live. We'll be with you until 9 o'clock tonight, talking about everything going on in the world of sports. But, of course, we're focusing on college football as we are only 25 days away from Auburn and Alabama football. We are 18 days away from college football in general. Only 18 days away. Can you believe that?
Yeah, but I think we're going to be sorely disappointed in those 18 days. You know how it always.
You're not looking forward to Oregon State and Colorado State.
Yeah, and California's playing somebody in Australia.
Is that happening again?
It's somebody's. I think so. Whatever.
16 days until high school.
I'll take whatever I can get. I watched the Hall of Fame game the other day, and there was no starters. I kind of enjoyed it. It was kind of cool just to have it back again and have it on in the periphery and just be doing other things. And there's football, real football that I don't know the outcome to.
Jay Cutler plucked out of the broadcast booth before he makes his initial debut.
Really quickly, I have to say the tweet of the day, and I would give him credit if I could remember who it was, but he said there was another tweet that said Jay Cutler has passed his physical as an officially a Dolphin, and somebody said this tweet would be so cool if there was no such thing as football. That got to me.
That is pretty fun.
A little slapstick.
Absolutely. Well, he goes to Miami. Still no Colin Kaepernick, but apparently they're having a rally for him outside of the building at the NFL complex in New York.
Well, what do they want the NFL to do? Say you must get this guy?
I guess so.
I mean,
it's a national tragedy that he doesn't have a job in the NFL.
Well, people forget this is a for-profit organization, and each individual owner has its own team, its own entity. And they don't want to deal with that because there will be backlash for all the people that are protesting, however many tens or hundreds are protesting out in front of the NFL office. There are probably thousands who won't go to the games, who won't attend the games, who won't buy the jerseys. And even though Colin Kaepernick, his jersey is still in the top 20 of those being sold, and he's not even in the league anymore, look, I've said it a million times. I don't want him on my team. If I'm the owner, I don't. If I'm a player, I probably am not so worried about it. But if I'm an owner, I'm looking at it from a money perspective and a perception perspective, and I don't want him on my team. But if somebody else got him, I don't think it's the worst thing that's ever happened to. There are people who have done worse things in the NFL and have still continued to get jobs. And here's the other thing. If Colin Kaepernick were Peyton Manning, if Colin Kaepernick were Cam Newton, if Colin Kaepernick were even Randall Cunningham, he would have a job. He's not as good as any of those guys.
He's not. I think that's the biggest point. I mean, yes, he was. He did lead San Francisco to the Super Bowl. And it doesn't seem like that long ago, and it wasn't really. But going by the last several years of just the production on the field, I don't know what people are so – I mean, obviously, there's the race element into it but that almost seems like it's manufactured at this point.
At this point, it does seem a little manufactured. How do you take – what, the NFL is 70% African-American at least? Yeah. There are several African-American starting quarterbacks. There are several that have already won Super Bowls. I think at this point, the league is virtually colorblind when it comes to who's on the field. I mean, there may be some racial undertones littered throughout the league, just like there are in all of society, but I don't think this is a racial issue. I think this is something that the owners haven't come up against before and the league hadn't come up against before, sort of an anti-patriotic movement or protest that maybe that's not what he intended. I don't think that's what Kaepernick intended, but that's how it came off. And so people they don't know what to do with it right now. And I don't blame them. And meanwhile, I understand the clock is ticking for Kaepernick in terms of how much time he has left to play. But I'm going to say it for the 100th time. If I were an owner, I wouldn't sign him either. He's not good enough for the risk.
It is risk reward. That's what the NFL always comes down to. Josh Rosen, quarterback from UCLA, made some interesting comments today, or I guess it was today, on a radio program. Taken out of context, I think it ruffled some Alabama people. But in context, I mean,
silly.
It's just
he's right.
He's absolutely right.
But he's right. But he's also a jerk. Is that okay to say?
Sure.
I mean, he's correct. But Josh Rosen, if you've read anything about him, I mean, he's anti-elite, elitist almost. I mean, he loves to tell people how smart he is. He loves to go on and on about how good he is and how much he knows and how he wants to own the world, which is, I think, is something he said today. But he is very smart, and he's a pretty doggone good football player. But he's very pay the players. He's very outspoken about it. And he lives in Los Angeles, and people celebrate the way he goes about his business. And what he said was, it wasn't Alabama's got the lowest standards in college football. What he said was he was taking Alabama because Alabama is the program in college football right now, and saying, hey, if we raise all the SAT scores.
It was all about school. How many wins would they?
That's right. Now, Cecil Hurd had a good comeback and said we'd be better than 4-8, which I think he's correct. But, Josh Rosen, he makes some good points and some things to talk about. Again, the headlines made it seem worse than what it was, and that's what headlines are designed to do.
This is true. We'll continue our SEC preview tonight. Up on the docket, Georgia and LSU. We'll talk about their seasons upcoming in 2017, what they have coming back, their strengths and weaknesses. Two great guests will join us, Anthony Dasher from UGAsports.com and Sonny Ship from Go 24/7. That is Gueax or Geuax.
We get it.
Or Gauaux. I don't know. It's Go though.
Yeah, we get it.
But anyway, so they'll join us. They'll enlighten us on everything going on with LSU and Georgia. Certainly looking forward to that. We'll have a little fun, do a little rank them tonight to end the show. But other than that,
Auburn had a scrimmage?
Auburn had a scrimmage. Apparently Jarrett Stidham is going to be a bust. I don't know why anybody's excited about him anymore. I think we ought to move on to the next guy.
Well, it's funny. The reports that came out about the scrimmage first, where Jarrett Stidham had 2 picks. One of them was a pick 6. He looked awful, couldn't complete a pass. He just with no touchdown passes. And Sean White stole the show, even though apparently he had no touchdown passes either. Well, then about 2 hours later, I don't know if the propaganda machine turned on or the Kremlin got a hold of some information, the Auburn version of the Kremlin. But there was a report that, hey, Jarrett Stidham didn't throw any interceptions. We relayed the information wrong. And I don't know what's right. I don't know what's wrong. I'm willing to bet the truth is somewhere in the middle. Some writers got their information from Darrell Williams, a linebacker for Auburn, who apparently said Jarrett Stidham threw a pick 6 and another interception. And then he later backtracked and said, no, that was actually Sean White. It does make it seem like Darrell Williams got a phone call and somebody said, you better change your story to that with Sean White. It kind of sounds that way, but it doesn't matter. It was one scrimmage. It's not a big deal. And if he did throw a pick 6 and an interception, it's not a big deal. If he threw 3 interceptions, it's not a big deal. Let's just give it a little bit of time. It's the first scrimmage of the fall practice. It's not that big of a deal. Don't read too much into it just because we're all so football starved.
Yeah, I can't even believe it's a story.
But
it's a scrimmage.
It is a story
the first
because
scrimmage.
Everybody's so hungry for football. And the other side of this, this is what happens when you blow somebody up. I mean, Jarrett Stidham can't possibly live up to the hype that some Auburn people have given him so far. He can't do it.
This is also what happens when you black out practice.
Well, that's true. But when he throws his first pick in a game, let's say that Auburn plays Georgia Southern and he throws a deep ball that's picked off in the first series. I mean, people are going to lose their minds and not realize it's not that big of a deal until we see a pattern.
Well, if he comes out and throws 3 against Georgia Southern.
Okay, then that'll be a pattern. Throwing ones and not a big whoop. I mean, don't forget. Look, on another call yesterday, I heard the host say, hey, look, the reason I'm so worried about this is because tell me another national championship contender that has a quarterback battle. First of all, I would not worry about national championship contender part. Secondly, if memory serves, Alabama didn't even start Jalen Hurts last year to begin the season. There was a quarterback battle into the USC game and into the second quarter of the USC game. It wasn't until after that it seemed like the quarterback situation had resolved itself. And even the next game, if memory serves, Blake Barnett came in to try and re-win the job, and he couldn't do it. Now, I think Auburn's going to be in maybe a similar situation. Shaun White has been at Auburn and knows Gus Malzahn better than Jarrett Stidham does. And
no doubt.
Until proven otherwise, I'm going to believe Gus Malzahn still has his hands wrapped around that offense's neck, just like Auburn fans don't want him to. But until I see that he's not going to do that, that's what I'm going to believe.
Well, whoever he names, I think I'll be surprised if it's not Jarrett Stidham, but just because of the physical tools, I think just the limited action that I've seen, I know what Shaun White can give us. I don't know what Jarrett Stidham can give us, but his ceiling is higher.
I agree with everything you said there. Would you, if Shaun White wins this gig, legitimately?
I quit. No.
Are you going to be concerned?
Yes.
I think that's fair.
Yes. I would think that 9 wins would be our ceiling.
I will say this. I think Jarrett Stidham is named the starter for Auburn on Monday.
Yeah.
There's another scrimmage Saturday.
Yeah.
And I think Monday, Jarrett Stidham will be the starter, and everybody they'll calm down at first, and then they'll blow up the hype again.
Hype train will go into 5th gear.
Yeah, that's right.
Up against our first break, but don't go anywhere. More of Sports Blitz Live, presented by JR's Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air, right after this.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill and Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
It's a crime to pay more than a dime at the all-new Opelika Ford and Opelika Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Every new and pre-owned vehicle, just $1 down. Plus credit amnesty. Bring home $350 a week, get up to $30,000 in credit.
It's a crime to pay more than a dime.
10 acres, 1,000 vehicles, just $1 down.
Folks, you've just got to see this place.
The all-new Opelika Ford and Opelika Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Call 800-NEXT-RIDE.
Find everything you need for the perfect outdoor living space at Russell Do-It Center, like the Fire Rock Outdoor Conventional Fireplace. Smartly designed masonry systems that are easy to install and are less than half the cost of a scratch-built brick and mortar fireplace. Weber Grills, the best outdoor gas, electric, and charcoal grills, which always come pre-assembled. Yeti Coolers, premium coolers and accessories that are the ultimate in design, performance, and durability. Russell Do-It Center, experience and knowledge from the pros.
Ready to put some fun in your life? Whether it's Central or East Alabama, North Alabama, West Georgia, or wherever you're from, Fun Carts of Opelika is your authorized easy-go kart dealer that has no limits on a perfect easy-go kart. Whether it's a fully customized kart or a stock-made kart, we'll deliver it on time and at the best price. Fun Carts gives you the service after the sale, so no matter if it's hunting, tailgating, motorhoming, fleet rental, or just a better way to get around, Fun Carts of Opelika has it and will customize it to your needs. Visit us in Opelika or call us or visit online for the best easy-go karts. Put a little fun in your life with Fun Carts of Opelika.
If you're seeing the American cockroach, throw up the red flag. Ladybugs, throw up the red flag. Ants and swarming termites, throw up the red flag. And kudzu bugs, throw up the red flag. That's Red Flag Pest Control. So the caution is on. Call Red Flag Pest Control today.
I'm Scott Davis with Red Flag Pest Control, celebrating our 10th anniversary. Call me today, 256-825-0430.
Hi, this is Quinn Harrelson with Interlink Mortgage in Auburn, Alabama. There are 1,000 different questions people ask me every day about mortgage loans. They ask about buying investment homes, primary homes, and even second homes at the lake or the beach. I only have a limited time to say, call me and let's talk about what you want and how I can help you get it. Again, win with Quinn and call me today at 256-675-6259 so I can help structure a mortgage that best fits you and your family's needs.
This segment of Sports Blitz is brought to you by Bice Motors in Alexander City. Brian and his crew offer the latest lines of Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram vehicles, as well as the best used inventory around. Guaranteed lowest price. Bice.
Welcome back to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you until 9 o'clock. Time to talk about the Georgia Bulldogs as we do our SEC preview of those Bulldogs from Athens. Kirby Smart in his second year there. Between the hedges, Jim Chaney, the offensive coordinator, Mel Tucker, the defensive coordinator. Never been very impressed with Jim Chaney when his time at Tennessee and his time at Arkansas, in his time last year in Athens. But I don't know. I just don't know if they're ever going to make a lot of progress. We'll see this year. He's got something to work with. Jacob Eason, of course, his maturity and how much better he gets this year, I think, is the key to Georgia's success. But 8-5 record last year, a lot of close games. That Nichols game could have been one of the most embarrassing losses in Georgia history, but they were able to pull that one out in week 2. But the game against Ole Miss on the road was a kind of an eye-opener. I'm not even sure. That seems like kind of an anomaly for the season. Not sure really what happened there.
The wheels just sort of came off. I think Ole Miss just took out some frustration. But the Georgia we saw, I mean, look, yeah, they beat Auburn 10-7, but they didn't score an offensive touchdown. Against Vandy, they lost, and they couldn't get a first down when it was 4th and half a yard. And you've got pretty powerful running backs back there.
Now, and you give it to Isaiah McKenzie.
Yeah.
You got it, Nick Chubb and Sony Michel, and you give it to McKenzie.
Look, I think I'm going to chalk some of that up to growing pains. And I think that Georgia will be better this year. I think their quarterback situation is pretty good. You have Jacob Eason, who he's certainly going to have to show some improvement. But he was number 1 quarterback in the country 2 years ago for a reason. And he did show some arm strength, certainly, in that pass to Riley Ridley in the Tennessee game. I mean, I wonder how much that game affected Georgia's season. To rip victory from the jaws of defeat only to have the jaws of defeat just open up even wider to swallow victory. I mean, it wasn't something necessarily that Georgia did. That was just, I mean, yeah, you're supposed to bat the pass down and whatever. But every now and again, that ball's going to be caught. And it just happened to be caught against Georgia. And it was just an incredible moment. But I wonder how the fortunes of both of those teams would have changed had Georgia gone on and won that game. Obviously, Georgia would at least be one win better off than they were. And Tennessee probably would be looking for a coach.
Well, you think about that's interesting. Think about it. That's a good point. That was a great drive down the field. That could have been kind of a early kind of legendary moment. To go ahead and a confidence builder for Jacob Eason. And the next week is the one where he just was unbelievably horrible against South Carolina. Just for the fact that they didn't get that win. I mean, if you ride off into the sunset or, after that win, hey, you just beat Tennessee, you're back on track. 4-1 heading to South Carolina. I mean, they still ended up winning and beating South Carolina just because they were awful.
Yeah.
They were worse, but that was, I mean, what did he have? He had like 16 yards passing or something.
Yeah, it
was really, really bad.
Look, he's got some room for improvement. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But he was a true freshman. And Jake Fromm is coming in to Georgia now, and I think he's going to push him. Jake Fromm's a very good quarterback, and it's going to be a nice battle. I think Easton's going to end up winning that thing, and that'll be fine. They've got some good receivers. They've got some really talented defenders, and they've got what a lot of people think is the best SEC duo at tailback.
It would be hard to argue with that. Looking down the schedule from last year again, losses to Vandy and Florida, went over Kentucky, but only a 3-point win. That one could have gone either way.
That one was close.
Auburn 13-7. That one could have gone either way. The battle of ugly, I don't even know what to say. 1-point win Georgia Tech, so that one certainly could have gone either way. They could very easily have gone 10-2. They could have probably gone 6-6 if several of these games had just bounced the right way. Moving over to their schedule this year, they open with Appalachian State, big game in South Bend in week 2.
And this is more of the relevancy bowl, if you ask me. If whoever loses this game, I'm officially declaring them irrelevant. I mean, because if Georgia can't go to South Bend and win, and it's not the most intimidating atmosphere in the world. Yeah, there's a lot of history surrounding it, but I think Notre Dame's only had, I think I saw a stat, they've only had 4 10-win seasons in the past 20 years.
It's probably about right.
And if that's the case, what are you worried about? They don't have Georgia's talent. Georgia should go up there and win. I mean, I fully expect that to happen. And who is up their West crossover? They play Mississippi State this year, don't they?
They do, yes.
And so their West crossovers are Mississippi State and Auburn. You're going to play Auburn every year, and Georgia's done pretty well against them, and they welcome in Mississippi State. I would feel pretty good about that if I were a Georgia fan. So at worst, you go 1-1 with those two, and then in the East, it's such a crapshoot. I know you go to Knoxville, but I think Tennessee's going to be horrific this year. You go to Vandy, which I've always looked at going on the road to Vandy as like an extra home game. That's if you ever, you go on the road 4 times in the SEC. If one of them's Vandy, I feel like you got 5 home games.
I would not. I mean, that because it's an easier environment, or because you're going to bring as many fans as they have.
A little bit of both. I mean, Alabama's going there this year, and we're already talking about making plans. I mean, everybody I know that's an Alabama fan is planning on going to that game.
Yeah.
Because it's an easy drive, it's an easy ticket, and it's an easy win.
It's true. Samford, Mississippi State, at Tennessee, at Vandy, Missouri at home. You get a bye, then the Jacksonville cocktail
I'm going to tell
party.
you right now, I don't see why they can't be undefeated headed to Florida.
You really, I mean, when looking at the schedule, I picked the West in my column, which will come out tomorrow. When you look at their schedule, you could easily see them going 11-1. Really, I mean, the wins are there. I don't think they will, but they could.
Georgia's going to Georgia.
Yeah, this is the stretch that's going to tell their tale. Florida, the 28th of October, South Carolina the next week, and at Auburn the 11th. That 3-game stretch, then they have Kentucky, which is not going to be a pushover either.
But it's in Athens.
It's in Athens. So their schedule is kind of backloaded. But it'll be interesting.
I would love for that Georgia-Florida game to be the decider of the East. I really would, because that's a rivalry that's underappreciated. And Georgia, for the most part, has not held up their end of the bargain. I mean, Florida has dominated that series.
That's for sure. I learned that. I learned that long. I always pick Florida in that game, no matter what. We're going to go ahead and take another break. Hopefully, when we come back, we may be joined by Anthony Dasher from UGAsports.com. Be sure to join us when we come back right after this.
If you've ever wanted a Lexus, now is your opportunity at the Reinhardt Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event. The time of the year to get savings on the Lexus you want. With extra inventory, the selection is better than ever on the most popular models. Save thousands with low monthly payments and special financing. Get 0% APR on the ES for 60 months. At Reinhardt Lexus, an opportunity like this only knocks once a year. So find your Lexus today at Reinhardt Lexus, where you'll feel like family.
Main Street Family Urgent Care.
Relief has a new address in Alexander City. Main Street Family Urgent Care is now open across from Walmart on Highway 280. From cuts, broken bones, strep throat, and flu, they can help you heal and feel better fast. Open 8 to 8 Monday through Friday, 8 to 6 on Saturday, and 1 to 6 on Sunday.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
TPE Power Equipment is now the trusted name for all your mower and power equipment needs. Whether it's our original Tallahassee location or Opelika location on Fredericks Road, we've got East Alabama covered with the best brands of mowers and power equipment from Husqvarna, Toro, Kawasaki, Echo, and Honda. Right now, get commercial strength Husqvarna zero-turn mowers with our fleet program that offers deep discounts, easy finance, and bonus handheld equipment in one solid package. TPE of Opelika and Tallahassee are the new standard of everything power equipment in East Alabama.
If you're not a race fan and I send you to Bristol, you're going to be a race fan when you leave me.
The most popular track on the circuit.
Let me tell you, don't count that 88 out. He's pretty darn good.
Says goodbye to NASCAR's most popular driver.
Hell yeah!
The Bass Pro Shops NRA Night Race, August 19th. Your last chance to see Junior run the night race.
Man, this is one of the biggest wins of my career.
Why is that?
It's Bristol, baby!
Homeowners all over Alabama have discovered that when you need your flooring clean, whether it's carpet, upholstery, or any manner of hard surfaces, there's no clean like Peaches and Clean. Serving Auburn, the Chattahoochee Valley, Montgomery, Birmingham, and the Lake Martin area. Call 866-837-6937. 866-837-6937. Or visit peachesandclean.com. Caring for your floor and a whole lot more.
There's no clean like Peaches and Clean.
Heads up, we're going back to 77. Disco, bell-bottoms, and Ford F-Series starts its epic run as the best-selling trucks in America. Fast forward to 2017, F-Series is still king for 40 straight years. How? Rock-solid durability, up to the nanosecond technology, and jaw-dropping capability. No wonder the competition hasn't been number one since these. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 40 straight years.
Bucks Island is one of the oldest boat dealers in Alabama, serving boaters since 1948 with the largest boat showroom in the state. Bass boats featuring Skeeter, cruisers and sport boats featuring Monterey, pontoons featuring Crest, G3, and Voyagers, powered by Mercury and Yamaha. Bucks Island has sold over 10,000 boats and with a full service and parts and accessories department to keep your boat in top condition. Don't buy a boat till you get a Bucks quote. Visit Bucks Island on Highway 77 in Southside or online at bucksisland.com. Give them a call at 1-800-I'm-READY. Bucks Island, where our #1 product is customer satisfaction.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sportz Blitz Live. We are continuing our preview of the Georgia Bulldogs, and right now we'll go to the phone line and welcome in Anthony Dasher from UGAsports.com. Anthony, thank you so much for joining us tonight. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good, guys. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk a little bit about the Bulldogs in 2017. Obviously, this is year 2 for Kirby Smart. Just talk a little bit about the strengths and weaknesses of this ball team.
Well, I think when you talk of strengths, probably on the defensive side, right now they've returned 10 or 11 starters from last year. Only player they don't bring back, starter rather they don't bring back, is Maurice Smith, who graduate transfer from Alabama, who started on 13 games at the star position. That's the only spot they have to fill. So they've got a lot of experience. So they're banking on that to kind of, I won't say help carry them a little bit, but I think that's going to be a real strength for the team. Weaknesses, there's some offensive line question marks, I think. They have to replace 3 starters from last year, and another starter, Lamont Gaggard, the right guard, moved to center for the first time in his career, so that's going to be something to watch. And then, they've got some, probably a little bit of questions of wide receiver as to who's going to step up right now. They've got enough bodies, I think, to have a lot of different options. But right now, a lot of these kids are young. It's really a question how quickly some of them are going to be able to go out and do their thing. Otherwise, Jacob Eason, quarterback, in his second year should be better than he was last year as a true freshman. Of course, the running backs was a group with Nick Chubb, one of the best in the country.
What is the hype level for Georgia, Notre Dame, and Athens right now?
Oh, it's big. I mean, that game's been hyped ever since it was announced, 5 or so years ago, whatever it's been. But, there's no doubt there's a lot of interest. It's not something that coaching and players are talking about yet. I mean, everybody's focused on Appalachian State, rightfully so. I mean, I think it would be a mistake to overlook those guys that we saw at Mount Houston. They should have beat Tennessee last year, and they're open and lost to them in overtime. But there's no doubt there's a lot of excitement generated. I mean, there's a lot of, tour groups and that kind of thing are going up to Chicago to spend the weekend. I know Vince Dooley, one of the coaches, throwing out the first pitch at the Cubs-Brewers game that Friday night before, and then the Atlanta Falcons are playing the Chicago Bears on Sunday. So for Georgia fans, it's a big weekend, no doubt.
Nick Chubb obviously had the horrific knee injury a couple of years ago. But, I think people forget he still rushed for well over 1,000 yards last year, and he has a chance to be the second all-time leading rusher in SEC history. Where do you think he is in terms of where he was as a sophomore prior to getting hurt?
I think finally he's where he was before the injury took place. I mean, the true freshman, those 3-4 games rather before the injury took place, he had a chance to really be a really special back. And even last year again, he likes to rush for over 1,000 yards, but it still wasn't the same Nick Chubb. Didn't have the same burst, same ability to break tackles as maybe he did a year or two before. But now, what we saw in G-Day, the spring game, he seems to be back. He seems a little bit faster. We all know how strong the kid is. I mean, he's squatting over 600 pounds, right now for him. He just looks to be in great shape. Not an ounce of fat on this guy. And, he's, with offensive line can play like they're hoping it will. He could have been for a very, very big year.
You talked about Jacob Eason as his sophomore year coming up. Last year he had some ups, he had some downs. Came in, kind of wasn't really scheduled or didn't start the season, but came in that North Carolina game and really never relinquished that job. Is this his team now? There's been a lot of talk about Jake Fromm and his talent.
Right. No, this is Jacob Eason's team, and everything we've heard from Kirby Smart, that leads us to believe that's definitely the case. Now, Jake Fromm has come in and has pushed Jacob, but this is his team for what we understand. He's come in, he's made some some slight adjustments with mechanics, and just having a second year in the league. He knows what the speed of the game is like now. Coming from playing high school ball in Washington State, the SEC, that's a big jump in play right there. But I think he's finally got used to that, and he's getting rid of the ball a little bit faster than he was last year. His reads are coming a little bit quicker. He's able to understand a little more what's going on opposing defenses. So they've got their fingers crossed that he's going to come and have a solid year, because he's going to need to. Because if Jacob Eason doesn't perform, then Georgia's not going to live up to all these expectations people placed on him right now.
All right, I'm going to give you a bit of a role reversal here. Convince me Georgia won't be undefeated heading to the world's largest outdoor cocktail party.
Convinced they won't be. Just the way Georgia has been over the past few years. There's always been some kind of game that seems to bite from one way or another. Things seem to happen. Seem to go against the Dogs sometime. In the game against Tennessee last year, I mean, I don't think anybody would have gave the ball a chance, and what they're pulling that game out after Georgia scored a 10-second rep to take the lead, and Tennessee gets to kick off a penalty, and they're throwing an alley-oop pass for a touchdown. So something like that always seems to bite Georgia somewhere along the line. But again, if you ask me, seriously, if you ask me why something somebody can come up and bite him, I'll go back to the offensive line. Some issues there. The running game doesn't get going, and Jacob Eason finds himself in a position of having to win the game by himself, and maybe some turnovers or force, and that it might have to be difference in the contest.
Well, Anthony, we really appreciate you joining us this evening. I wish the Bulldogs all the best.
I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. We're up against another break here, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Sports Blitz Live right after this.
If you've been putting off that new heating and air unit in your home because of the upfront expenses, Williams Plumbing of Alexander City now has primary financing from Synchrony and can now install brand new heating and cooling systems with zero down, longer terms, and a competitive rate. Call Williams Plumbing at 256-329-8488 and get a free quote and terms and upgrade up to $35,000 in work with approved credit. Williams Plumbing stands behind their work with on-time affordable service for all your heating and air needs, as well as plumbing for zero down financing and great service. Williams Plumbing.
When enjoying the lake this season, make sure to drop by Harbor Point Marina for all your gas, snacks, boating supplies, and beverage needs. Harbor Point also wants you to come see our remaining 2017 Crest pontoons, priced to move at all-season pricing. Harbor Point Crest sales have been tremendous, and they're ready to unload their remaining 2017 Crest Tritoons to make way for the 2018 order. Come see the best in pontoons at our 2017 season closeout prices. Act now because inventory is limited, and enjoy your new Crest pontoon this year. For all your own water needs and sacrifice pricing on Crest pontoons, get to the point. Harbor Point at Still Waters on Lake Martin.
Advantage is defined as a favorable or desirable circumstance or feature, a benefit, and that's just what you'll get with the Gills Auto Sales 5-Star Advantage. Gills Worry-Free Guarantee, a 30-month, 30,000-mile warranty on every vehicle. Specialized maintenance from the area's top technicians and free oil changes with each purchase. Flexible financing to fit any budget or credit situation. Convenience with 6 locations offering quick and easy approvals. And selection, the area's volume leader with over 400 vehicles in stock. There's only one place to get the 5-Star Advantage, and that's only at Gills.
I'm Jimmy Goree with Goree's Furniture. We would like to invite you to come shop our huge selection of furniture. But if you don't have time, we have over 2,000 items you can have shipped directly to your home. Go to GoreesFurniture.com, look for 48-hour quick ship. Shop, click, ship, it's just that easy. You can shop us here, or you can shop us online, only at Goree's Furniture.
Your expressway to saving.
Find everything you need for the perfect outdoor living space at Russell Do-It Center, like the Fire Rock Outdoor Conventional Fireplace. Smartly designed masonry systems that are easy to install and are less than half the cost of a scratch-built brick and mortar fireplace. Weber Grills, the best outdoor gas, electric, and charcoal grills, which always come pre-assembled. Yeti Coolers, premium coolers and accessories that are the ultimate in design, performance, and durability. Russell Do-It Center, experience and knowledge from the pros.
Summertime means savings time during the summer clearance event at Bice Motors. Save over $8,200 on a great selection of loaded new 2017 Chrysler 200 Limiteds. Was $25,705, now $17,500. Need a truck? Bice has new 2017 Ram 1500 Quad Cab Express 4x2s for $299 a month.
Guaranteed lowest price, or we'll pay you the difference in price twice.
Don't miss the summer clearance event going on now. BiceChryslerDodge.com.
This segment of Sports Blitz is brought to you by Dark Insurance, offering insurance for all your personal needs, including auto, boat, homeowners, and disability. Don't be in the dark. Call Dark Insurance at 256-234-5026.
Welcome back to Sports Blitz Live. This segment brought to you by Dark Insurance. I've known John for about 40 years.
Yeah,
grew up together.
You know, Will Dark actually came to my office today because I've got some more insurance from them, and I mean they have great service. I mean, I emailed him and said, "Do you want to come by today?" And next thing I know, he's at my front door.
There you go, door-to-door service. That's
I dig
the way
it.
to do it. All right, Luke, we're finishing up here. The Georgia Bulldogs, very, I think, optimistic, but very honest. Anthony Dasher, you said, convinced me they won't be undefeated. He said, well, I bet they'd just be like Georgia.
How about just Georgia it up?
All right, here we go. True or false? We, I think, touched on this. Nick Chubb and Sony Michel are the best running back tandem in the SEC.
To start the season, I say yes. By the end of the season, I think it's going to be some combination of Alabama backs. There are just too many talented ones on the roster. And what I'm also worried about, I mean, I know he says Nick Chubb's 100%. He's still, I mean, 80% Nick Chubb still gets 1,200 yards, but it ain't the Nick Chubb we saw before.
No.
And I'm going to believe he's 100% when I see him. I still think those two, I mean, they were both 5 stars coming out. I think they were both, well, I don't think Nick Chubb was the number 1 back, but I think he was close. And I think Sony Michel was the number 1 back. So both of those guys are just great. They're going to be future NFL players. And I think they probably are coming into the season. You should have them ranked the number 1 duo.
Fill in the blank. The most critical game on Georgia's schedule is blank.
I'm going to say Florida with an asterisk. But if I want to get down to brass tacks or gold tacks, I would say it's Notre Dame. You lose Notre Dame, I feel like you've got problems. It's going to really create some doubt in what Kirby Smart
You're
can
headed
do.
for 8 or 9 wins.
Yeah, because you're going to you have to win 2 or 3 games you shouldn't to make up for that Notre Dame loss. I mean, it may take a couple of seasons to get over that. I mean, again, I think Notre Dame and Tennessee are in kind of the same car. Notre Dame may be a little bit ahead of Tennessee, but they're not far. They're just not very good. Georgia should go over there and wax them, I think.
Over under 3,000 yards passing for Jacob Eason. He had 2,430 last year.
I'm going to say over. I just think he's got some talented receivers, and I think he's going to be better this year. I think the quarterback play overall is going to be better. I think he's going up against, as Anthony Dasher just told us, a very experienced defense in practice, and I think that's going to make him better. So I'm going to say yes, over 3,000 yards.
What's the chances Jake Fromm sees meaningful playing time during 2017?
I'm going to give it about a 25% chance. I like Fromm a lot, but if Eason is on his game and if he's improved the way I think he will improve, then I think he will be the starter and be the starter throughout the year.
What's the word for the Bulldogs' defense in 2017?
They hope it's nasty.
Yeah.
They have some really good players on that defense. They've got some highly touted players on that defense. But some of them are going to have to make a name for themselves. Again, they all have high school 5-star names. They need to make SEC names for themselves now. You know, there's a big difference in going from, you know, this guy, Byron Cowart is a great example. This is a guy who had every accolade you could have coming out of high school, and he's done absolutely nothing now. Now he's gone so far down the depth chart. He's 3rd team right now, and he's gone so far, people don't even bring him up when you're talking about Auburn anymore. People used to bring him up just because they wondered where he was. Now they know where he is. Yeah. And Georgia's got some guys that are sort of middle ground. They've got some bust, sure. They've got some guys that are pretty good, sure. They don't have a defender that just jumps off the page at me that you go, oh my God, I don't want to go up against that guy. Like David
Marshall?
No, David from David Marshall is pretty good. But the ESPN guy, his name's escaping, number 47.
Oh, I don't know.
You know who I'm talking about.
I do know who you're talking about.
He's right there.
It is.
He's defensive end. He was one of the best in the past 25 years.
You hear both.
Well, why am I slipping?
I don't know. But the minute you said it, I lost it. It's
like
gone.
I keep wanting to say Klingler, the former quarterback at Houston, and it's not David Klingler.
It is not David Klingler.
Oh, we're going to think about it during the break.
Yeah, we will. What's the future? Predict the future. What will Georgia's record be this season?
I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say 10-2.
10-2. So we said they could win 11. They could win 7, 8. You're going to say 10-2.
Yeah.
Who are they losing to?
I wish you hadn't asked. I'm going to go Florida, and then I'm going to go either
Pollock.
David Pollock. Thank you. Oh, it feels good to now. Like I feel better. I'm going to say Florida, and who's their back end of their schedule? I know Auburn's on there.
South Carolina, Auburn, Kentucky, Georgia Tech.
I'm going to say they lose one of those games. I don't know which one.
No.
I highly suspect it's Auburn, but
a blind squirrel.
It could be Tech too. I mean, look, Georgia's going to slip up somewhere in there, but I think they're still going 10-2. For Georgia's sake, they probably hope it is Georgia Tech if you're going to lose one of those last 4 just to get to Atlanta.
I had them at 9-3.
Okay.
And I had them honestly losing to Florida, South Carolina, and Auburn. A 3-game stretch, they lose all 3.
Ooh, I can't see that. And I feel like if you lost all 3 of those games, and those arguably are your 3 biggest in-conference rivals, then I think that would be like losing to Notre Dame. If you lose the cocktail party, Auburn, and South Carolina, these are all states you border. These are all teams you go up against in recruiting all the time. I think that would be really bad for Kirby Smart.
Well, he doesn't hope it happens.
Yeah,
I hope it happens. He doesn't hope it happens. But anyway, well, that's going to pretty much wrap up Georgia.
Okay.
In a tight little package with a Georgia red bow.
Yeah, I like it.
What are they, scarlet?
The red and black.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and take another break. We'll be back. We'll shift our focus to the LSU Tigers, the Bengal Tigers down in Baton Rouge. We'll be back with more, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air, right after this.
Why buy your next car from Lynch Nissan of Auburn?
At U.S. AmeriBank, there's something very different at the heart of what we do and who we are. It's a spirit that also defines our neighbors, local businesses, and communities. Building on our 116-year history in Alabama, U.S. AmeriBank provides something found nowhere else: craft banking. It's an unwavering commitment to handcrafted banking solutions that turns customers into enthusiastic fans. Visit usameribank.com or your local branch to discover the U.S. AmeriBank difference. U.S. AmeriBank. Banking on values. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Jewelry by Design is Auburn's premier jeweler for over 20 years. Mark and Tammy Nelson invite you to see their unique selection of engagement rings, each crafted to be a one-of-a-kind masterpiece, custom designed with only natural premium diamonds that are never enhanced. Jewelry by Design is also your officially licensed Auburn University jeweler that handcrafts all of their Auburn jewelry, as unique as your passion for the Auburn Tigers. For jewelry that's crafted to your style, visit Jewelry by Design on Dean Road in Auburn or online at jewelrybydesignauburn.com.
If you had $6,000, how would you spend it?
I'd pay bills.
How about a new car? Vacation!
At Hyundai of Auburn today, you can get the new car and do the other things.
What? How?
Pick out your dream car and drive away with as much as $6,000 to spend however you'd like.
America's best warranty and $6,000?
Luxury and $6,000.
Be thinking how to spend your $6,000. HyundaiofAuburn.com.
Vacation!
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill in Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life. Now is the best time to see the good guys the locals know, Alex City Marine. With last year being our best year yet, Landau Pontoons has increased Alex City Marine's allocation of Landaus for the 17th season. Our Suzuki outboard selections are at an all-time high. Alex City Marine is now also Lake Martin's exclusive Manitou pontoon dealer with a full line of the luxurious Manitou Tri-Tune with patented V-Tune technology for top performance. Get the best selection now of Landau and Manitou pontoons. Alex City Marine, Lake Martin. This segment of Sportz Blitz is brought to you by Satterfield on Highway 280 in Alex City. Satterfield is the Lake Martin area's Big Green Egg and Accessories headquarters.
Want to say something about Satterfield before you get into it?
Go right ahead.
Big sale this Saturday, 25% off, Big Green Eggs, Lynx and Blaze grills. Satterfield's only open from 8 to noon on Saturdays. It's a one-day thing. Get over to Satterfield on Highway 280. It's right across from Tallapoosa Ford. It's right next to the Home Depot virtually. Satterfield, Highway 280, 25% off Big Green Eggs, Lynx, and Blaze gas grills. Huge, huge savings. Christmas gift.
Absolutely. I accept gifts.
We would accept the gift from Satterfield.
Absolutely. All right. Well, let's shift our attention to the LSU Tigers. Ed Orgeron, of course, his first full year as head coach as he took over in the interim role last year for Les Miles as he was, unceremoniously put aside after the horrendous loss against the Auburn Tigers, I guess.
Yeah.
Matt Canada, his first year, he comes over from Pittsburgh. Dave Aranda in his second year. LSU 8-4 last year. Of course, they missed out on a game because of the inclement weather. Ended up having to shift the Florida game and the hullabaloo that ensued after that. But they moved it later in the year, and I guess appropriately so. And Florida ends up winning that game. And now they'll get 2 straight games in Gainesville, which LSU will have to travel there this year and next year. So LSU offense has been the problem for, I don't know, 7-8 years, at least since the last national title. Defense has never been a problem there, and I wouldn't probably expect it to be a problem this year, although they have to replace a ton of players. Of their leading tacklers, let's see, Duke Riley, Kendall Beckwith, Jamal Adams, Davin Godcha, Lewis Neal, Dwayne Thomas, Tre'Davious White, Tayshawn Bauer, gone. That's a lot of tackles to replace.
Now, they do just reload on defense, that's right. I do wonder, though, do we give them too much credit on defense?
Well, I mean, third in the conference total defense, second against the run, third against the pass, second in points given up, 15.8.
I don't know.
Second, third down conversion.
And I know they held Auburn out of the end zone, but, you know, LSU's given up 18 points to that Auburn team at that time in the season. That seems kind of high. I mean, to give them so much praise.
Yeah.
You know, it just seems like the defense would help them out a little more if they were that good. I mean, they keep saying their defense is on par with Alabama's, and it's the offense that's the problem. I think their defense is good, is very good. I don't think is it elite? I don't know. I mean, it seems like last year they could have won games with those guys you just rattled off. You know, all of them.
I don't think any defense is elite that gives up over 100 yards rushing a game.
Okay. That's fair enough. I wonder if we heap too much praise on LSU's defense, and it makes the offense look even worse. Look, Danny Etling had his 3 best games, or 4 best games, maybe the final 4 games of the year. So maybe he's improved. Maybe he's better. I mean, we think about Danny Etling not looking good against Auburn, not looking good against Alabama. You know, but he looked good in the final 4 games. He had a good game against Florida. It wasn't his fault they lost.
Right.
He had a nice game against Louisville. They played the Heisman Trophy winner. And then what was another one in there? Ole Miss?
Texas A&M.
Texas A&M. I mean, they do what they do against Texas A&M every year.
Put up 54 against them.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'll say this. One question that we'll be able to ask Sonny Shipp here in just a second is, does he think that Ed Orgeron will be at LSU in 2018?
Surely.
I
wouldn't think after 1 year?
Look,
well, I mean, the bottom would really have to fall out.
Talk about their schedule. Run down their schedule. Let's talk about bottoms and falling out.
BYU and a neutral site.
I think LSU wins that game. But look,
if it's tough, though, I mean, if you're in a fourth quarter ball game, and I mean, this is not Lavelle Edwards here. I mean,
I know, and I tend to remember. What was it? Miami going to BYU in 90 or 91, and BYU beat them up pretty good. It was a darn good Miami team. A long time ago. But I think, it's going to be tougher.
BYU beat Mississippi
It's
State
in
a couple
Houston,
years,
right? It's in Houston.
I think so.
What a weird matchup.
That is a weird matchup. I think we have a phone call.
Okay, let's take it.
Let's try it.
Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Is it Brian?
How you doing, buddy?
Went fishing today. I have caught 455 brim.
Today? That'd be some kind of record.
For the year.
Okay.
For the year.
Okay.
5 of them today.
There's going to be no more left.
Yeah. Save some brim for the rest of us.
It's 2 more weeks until high school football starts.
That's right. Are you excited?
Yep.
How's Elmore County going to be this year?
Doing pretty good.
Okay, give me a prediction on Elmore County's record real quick.
Either 7-3 or 8-2.
All right. Appreciate the phone call, Brian.
7-3 or 8-2.
Yeah. They're going to go 7-3 or they're not.
Yeah.
That's a good prediction. Back to LSU for a second. Sort of a bizarre matchup to me. I mean, the Mormons and the Cajuns.
It's true. Somebody was, I can't remember now, but there was some, BYU's got a game like that's supposed to be scheduled at, like 9 o'clock or something.
It's supposed to be, it's a late night game, and if it goes into Sunday, there's a real dilemma because they
don't play.
They don't do anything on Sunday.
Yeah.
And so there's going to be a problem. Like, will they just walk out? I don't know.
Be interesting. Chattanooga, of course, that's a win. At Mississippi State, I think could be very interesting.
Let me tell you, that game's going to be tough.
Yeah. I mean, 23-20 last year in Baton Rouge.
And Nick Fitzgerald, I mean, look, Mississippi State's going to be sneaky good this year.
I think you're probably right. Syracuse, another out-of-conference.
Yeah, but to me, BYU and Syracuse is like having one good non-conference game. You've got two name teams, but you've got neither one of them is a Florida State or a Clemson or a Notre Dame. Or they actually, both of them may be better than Notre Dame, but they don't carry the same cachet as Notre Dame does.
Troy, at Florida.
Troy gave them all they wanted last year.
Yes, they did. Gave Clemson all they wanted.
Yeah. Or was that Jacksonville State that gave LSU all they wanted last year? I can't remember. It was one of those two.
I think
it was Jacksonville State.
Auburn. That's a.
I think that's LSU's biggest game of the year. Everybody loves to say it's Alabama. I think LSU has proven they're not on that level right now, and they need to get back on that level. You and Auburn are jockeying for that position. You got to beat Auburn at home this year if you're LSU.
At Ole Miss, at Alabama, Arkansas, at Tennessee. A&M.
Okay, the schedule on the surface seems pretty manageable. And if I say what are the lock games to lose, I think the only one I'm going to say is at Alabama, right? But there are a lot of on-the-fence games. I think Syracuse is certainly beatable along with BYU, but it's not going to shock me if Syracuse or BYU, if one of those two beats LSU, that's not going to shock me. I think LSU would be favored against Auburn, but it's not going to be a shock if Auburn wins that game. I think at Tennessee, again, you know that I'm not on the Butch Jones train right now, but they're at Tennessee, and by this time in the season, if they've lost to Alabama again, if they've lost to Auburn again, and if they've mixed in another loss, maybe at Ole Miss, which I don't see happening, but it could happen, LSU might throw in the towel.
They very well could. And I go back to, those Ole Miss teams. I don't know. I guess it's a fair comparison. I mean, because this is, this is its history. But, I mean, LSU is not Ole Miss. I mean, just the fact of the pure talent that they have.
But here's the thing.
Is it going to be – because that Ole Miss team was easy to get off the track.
Okay. Across the board, you're absolutely right. And I picked Ole Miss to finish bottom of the league. Okay, bottom of the West. But at the quarterback position and at the wide receiver position, I don't know that anybody in the league, and I'm including Alabama, has a better combo of future NFL wide receivers and a quarterback that can get them the ball. Would I take Jalen Hurts over Shea Patterson? Probably, but at the same, I think Shea Patterson's going to be certainly a higher draft pick. And if Shea Patterson has his best passing day, he's a lot better than Jalen Hurts in that arena. Now, running-wise, it's no contest all the time. Passing-wise, Shea Patterson's the best passer in this league when he's on.
You think so?
Yeah. When he is on his game, I think he's the best quarterback in this league. Now, here's the catch. Their offensive line isn't very good. They have no running game. That's why I think Shea Patterson's going to lead the league in passing yards, because he's going to have to throw it all the time. Their defense isn't very good. I mean, I'm getting on an Ole Miss track. My point being, what if Shea Patterson is on his game for that game? I think, and you're missing your Tre'Davious White and your Jamal Adams and your Devin Godchaux and Ridley. You're missing all those, or Duke Riley, excuse me. You're missing all those guys. And yeah, I think Ole Miss is going to sneak up and maybe beat somebody. I still think they're going to finish last. LSU could be it.
I had Ole Miss in a tie for last with Arkansas.
I got a little bit more faith in Arkansas than you do.
Up against another break here, but we'll come back. We'll talk about the LSU Tigers a little bit more. Be sure to join us. More to come right after this.
If you haven't been to Big B Barbecue in Alex City, then you're missing the best barbecue around. Big B has everything from the best pulled or chopped pork, chicken, and beef to cheeseburgers and grilled chicken salads. Bring your friends and family out for a great dinner and sit outside on our beautiful patio, or sit inside and enjoy your meal by the fireplace. So come in and join us and enjoy the best barbecue in the area only at Big B Barbecue, located on Highway 22 West in Alex City.
At US AmeriBank, there's something very different at the heart of what we do and who we are. It's a spirit that also defines our neighbors, local businesses, and communities. Building on our 116-year history in Alabama, US AmeriBank provides something found nowhere else: craft banking. It's an unwavering commitment to handcrafted banking solutions that turns customers into enthusiastic fans. Visit usameribank.com or your local branch to discover the US AmeriBank difference. US AmeriBank, banking on values. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Lex Wedgeworth has been the most trusted pest control company for a generation, and now we're proud to announce our new name, EnviroCare. You can expect the same high standards for all your pest control needs, and EnviroCare's exclusive Centricon termite colony elimination system that provides the industry standard to protect your home or business. The EnviroCare Centricon termite protection protects your home year-round. Call the professionals of EnviroCare throughout Central East Alabama. Call for a free estimate. Nobody cares like EnviroCare, the next generation of full pest control for your home or business.
A1 Four Seasons, a division of Jackson Refrigeration, is Central Alabama's Alabama Power Superior Solutions dealer. With the summer months approaching, the temperatures are rising, and so will your power bill if you don't have one of the latest 410A heat pumps. With R22 Freon prices on the rise, now is the time to make the switch to a new, more efficient unit that will save you hundreds of dollars on your yearly power bill. Call A1 Four Seasons at 256-234-4457.
What's behind the CA?
A world full of opportunities.
Where are you now? Where are you going?
Where do you want to be?
These are all important in determining your path in life.
More importantly, why be ordinary
when you can be extraordinary?
At Central Alabama Community College, you can be anything you wish to be.
Don't put your future on hold, and don't settle for less than excellence.
We are Central Alabama Community College.
Central to you.
Central to your success.
Ask what makes it the best 3 Series ever, and we'll tell you it has more advanced suspension and steering, or even more control of the road. And it's near perfectly balanced to put performance first. But ask if we're aware the competition mimics us just to keep up? No comment. The BMW 3 Series.
Visit BMW of Columbus on Whittlesey Boulevard or shop bmwofcolumbus.com.
This segment of Sports Blitz is brought to you by Alex City Marine, the Lake Martin area's premier new and used boat and motor dealership. Find out more at alexcitymarine.com.
Welcome back, everyone. We're going to take a brief respite from our LSU talk and do a little Players of the Week. Sports Blitz always likes to highlight local players in the area. Wow, I better take this one. What do you think?
Good night. There's no chance. I'm gonna have to go. I would have to go to 3 optometrists to read that.
The Russell Building Supply AHSAA Radio Network Player of the Week is Matthew Fling from Madison County. The 6'1", 213-pound linebacker has committed to play at Tennessee. Flint averaged 7.1 tackles per game, recorded 5 sacks, and forced 3 fumbles last season. He also started at receiver and caught 28 passes for 437 yards and 9 touchdowns. A versatile guy.
Very versatile. So versatile that they had him listed as Matthew Fling and Matthew Flint. He's got 2 last names. The Lyman Ward Military Academy Sportz Blitz AISA Player of the Week is Cameron O'Neal from Glenwood School. Glenwood senior wide receiver Cameron O'Neal has committed to play football for the University of Pittsburgh. He announced on Twitter on Tuesday. Wow, what a great award for him.
Absolutely. The Interlink Lee County Player of the Week, Hunter Feaster from Beauregard High School. The linebacker dominated Class 5A as one of the most unrelenting defenders, racking up 175 tackles, 4 sacks, and an interception as he helped lead the Hornets defense to the 2016 state championship.
The Lee Apparel Sportz Blitz Lake Martin Area Player of the Week is Anquavius Pollard from Lynette High School, and I'm going to have to get closer to the screen, and I don't care if you know it. A threat to score on any given touch, Pollard totaled 47 catches for 964 yards and 23 touchdowns as a junior, and enters his senior year with scholarship offers from Florida Atlantic, Jacksonville State, and UT Chattanooga.
Getting up there with Lane Kiffin, huh? The LMG River Region Player of the Week, Keyshawn Palmer from Marbury High School, the senior running back, has committed to play his college ball at the U.S. Military Academy in West Point, New York. Palmer rushed for 1,395 yards and 13 touchdowns and was a Montgomery Advertiser All-Metro honorable mention last season for the Bulldogs. How about that, West Point? That's getting
strong.
Done right there.
The Concrete Talladega County Player of the Week is Corey Russell from Oxford High School. The Munford 3-star running back and defensive end has decided to transfer for his senior year to Oxford High School. He holds offers from Arkansas State, Memphis, and Iowa State.
A lot of kids in the state of Alabama getting offers from big-time colleges.
Well, that's what I keep up with recruiting in the state pretty feverishly, right? I mean, I like it a lot. But Matthew Flint committing to Tennessee sort of caught me off guard. I hadn't heard a lot about him in the state. But then I watched some film on him. I looked up some stats. He's talented. I mean, Tennessee's getting, he's a sleeper, but I think he's a steal. And then the kid that just committed from Glenwood Academy, wide receiver at Pittsburgh. I mean, that's huge news. An AISA kid, you don't see a lot of them getting a lot of D1 offers. I mean, when you do, they're kind of freaks. I mean, Brody Croyle, for instance. I mean, he could have started anywhere, but he was at an AISA school. I mean, just very good for him. And how about Pittsburgh sneaking into Alabama and getting a guy? I think it's awesome.
There's some connection there somewhere.
Well, I've said this for years, that Mississippi State ought to be loving Nick Saban right now because of Saban going more national. Auburn has also gone more national. Mississippi State has been able to come in here and take kids that no doubt, in my mind, in any given year would normally go to Alabama or Auburn. And Mississippi State is getting really talented kids. And now I think Pittsburgh may have looked around and said, Louisville I know has done this. They may have said, hey, Alabama's not the most populous state in the union, but they take football as seriously as any other state does. And you can talk about going to California all you want to, but the odds of getting a kid to go to Pittsburgh from California aren't that good. And also, I don't know if you saw the article, the participation in football in California is actually way down. But in Alabama, it keeps skyrocketing. I mean, people still want to play football here. And it's taken so seriously that I think some of these other colleges are looking around and going, I'd rather get a guy that's unknown from Alabama than somebody that is known from Iowa. You know what I mean?
Vanderbilt's cherry-picked a few nice ones.
Yeah, Zach Cunningham, for sure. A couple of wide receivers that we talked about a couple of weeks ago.
Absolutely. Up against another break here, but when we come back, hopefully we'll be joined by Sonny Ship from Go 24/7 about the LSU Tigers. Join us when we come back right after this.
Purchasing a new home is easier than you think, and America's Home Place can show you the way. For over 41 years, we've built thousands of homes for people just like you. We guide you through the entire process, from purchasing a lot, finding financial options, to putting the finishing touches on your beautiful new house. Come tour our showroom and see over 100 customizable floor plans. Visit us online at americashomeplace.com/TV for a free floor plan book. America's Home Place. We make building easy.
Now is the best time to see the good guys the locals know, Alex City Marine. With last year being our best year yet, Landau Pontoons has increased Alex City Marine's allocation of Landaus for the 17th season. Our Suzuki outboard selections are at an all-time high. Alex City Marine is now also Lake Martin's exclusive Manitou pontoon dealer with a full line of the luxurious Manitou Tri-Tune with patented V-Tune technology for top performance. Get the best selection now of Landau and Manitou pontoons. Alex City Marine, Lake Martin.
Whether it's a dream house or corporate real estate, Concrete has the skill, expertise, and talent to exceed your expectations. Trust Concrete to build a foundation for your future. Our work ethic and dedication are always in keeping the competition on their toes. We specialize in residential and commercial development in the Coosa, Talladega, and Shelby County areas. Call us today for your next project, 256-245-4211, or check us out on the web at con-crete.com.
There is a strength inside you, unknown and imperfect, waiting. And when you think you have nothing left to give, when each obstacle in your path is more formidable than the last, that's when you'll find it. And with that strength, your greatness will have no limits.
Summertime means savings ton during the summer clearance event at Bice Motors. Save over $8,200 on a great selection of loaded new 2017 Chrysler 200 Limiteds. Was $25,705, now $17,500. Need a truck? Bice has new 2017 Ram 1500 Quad Cab Express 4x2s for $299 a month.
Guaranteed lowest price, or we'll pay you the difference in price twice.
Don't miss the summer clearance event going on now. BiceChryslerDodge.com.
And I know when I need it, I can count on you. Like 4, 3, 2, and you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, oh yeah. Ooh.
You can count on the caring team at Brown Nursing and Rehabilitation. Our services include physical, speech, and occupational therapy. Brown Nursing and Rehabilitation, 256-329-9061.
This segment of Sports Blitz is brought to you by Russell Do-It Center, offering a complete assortment of lumber, building materials, electrical, and plumbing supplies. Russell Do-It Center stores deliver first-class service, top-rate products, and competitive do-it-best pricing.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you for about 45 more minutes, continuing our preview of the LSU Tigers, and we'll go to somebody that actually knows something about the LSU Tigers, Mr. Sonny Ship from Go 24/7. Sonny, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, guys, how's it going?
Doing really well. How's everything in Louisiana?
Oh man, hot and steamy as always. This time of the year, and optimistic, I guess, like every other SEC state and town right now.
And I'm not going to get too far off track here at the very beginning, but I did see an article the other day that they finally determined what it was that was making New Orleans smell the way New Orleans smells in the morning most of the time, and it was something to do with grease traps going into the sewer system, et cetera, et cetera. Do you feel relieved that they finally figured this out?
Oh man, you caught me off guard right there. As soon as you started with this, I thought we were going to a corn dog joke.
I got you. Well, let's talk a little bit about LSU, and I think when you start talking about the Tigers this year, you've got to start with Danny Etling, because that is the giant question mark. That's where everybody goes. Whenever you're talking about a team that should be a championship contender, you talk about what their quarterback brings to the table. And, Danny Etling has gotten a bad rap, but I think he had his best 4 games of the season the last 4 games of last season. So do you think he can carry that improvement into this year?
Well, the biggest thing with Danny Etling and what you saw last year is you wonder if you're going to get the same thing this year or if you're going to get better. And you expect better considering that he had that back injury that plagued him all of last year. He played through that. He held off of having surgery during the spring so he could take part in Matt Canada's first spring at LSU. And then once the spring was over, then he went ahead and he had his back surgery. Right now, he said he's somewhere around 85 to 90%, expects to be 100% for BYU. And, one of the big storylines out of LSU camp is that Ed Orgeron has cut out the media. But one thing that we picked up from talking to sources and talking to people who do go, who are able to go to the practices outside the media, is that Etling is throwing the ball better right now. And they're really working on his fundamentals and his technique, because last year he said that, he developed some bad habits. He developed some bad habits in trying to overcome the back pain that he did have. And so right now they're trying to work through that. He's, things are progressing nicely right there. And so I think you're going to see more out of the passing game than you've seen since the 2013 season when Zach Mettenberger was throwing to Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry. Whether or not it's enough to get them to Atlanta and beyond, I think that's the $64 million question that right now that Ed Orgeron doesn't even have an answer to.
Well, you mentioned Matt Canada. He comes over. It seems like that's been the bugaboo for LSU, is just that consistency on the offensive side of the football. Defenses seem to be pretty steady. But what are you expecting different with Matt Canada running the offense?
You're going to see a lot of pre-snap movement. You're going to see a lot of shifts. You're going to see a lot of motion. I think that, and I don't want to speak from the national perspective, but from the casual fan outside of the LSU fan base. But one of the biggest complaints that LSU fans had, the last 3 years. With Cam Cameron running the offense and with Les Miles on the headset, was that when they lined up to run a play, even the fans up in the nosebleed section, they knew what was going to happen because there wasn't much misdirection. It was, hey, this is what we're doing. You try to stop us. We've got Leonard Fournette. We've got these guys back here. You try to stop us. And like Alabama for the last 2 years, when you face that upper echelon team, they're going to stop you. And I think what Matt Canada is going to bring to the offense, bring to the table, is he's going to bring more misdirection. He's going to bring more movement to where the defense is having to think. They're having to worry about gaps. They're not able to just line up and say, okay, I've got the A gap, I've got the B gap. They're going to have to think about whether, of what gaps are going to be there now. So I think that's probably the biggest thing that you'll see with the Matt Canada offense. You're still going to see a lot of running the football, but you're going to see more play action to the tight end. You're going to see the tight ends more involved. You're going to see more guys involved on offense, and if they can get those pieces clicking around Danny Etling, get good protection up front, then I think you'll see a lot better numbers on the offensive side of the ball.
Well, that's another thing. The offensive line. I don't know if I'm going to try to pronounce his name. Maya Tiahima, that it was slated to be the right guard, is transferred out, and I think that's like the 5th offensive lineman that kind of has left in the last year or so. Is the offensive line and a concern this year?
Yeah, it's a concern. Maya Tahuma is that's how you pronounce it. So, I run into these kids' names all the time. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to butcher this name so bad. But he's a guy that you'll probably see playing on Sundays. I mean, he came in. He was for the better part of his recruitment. He was a 5-star offensive lineman out of Texas. He finished as a high 4-star, came in. He started his the second game of his college career. He started, and he's been a starter ever since. So when you lose a big piece like that, it obviously someone has to step up. The biggest problem is that out of LSU's everyone on the 2D, on the second team offensive line, and the guys vying for Maya Tahuma's spot, they've played a total of 7 games between all 6 guys in that contention. And so you don't have a lot of experience right there. Losing Tahuma, that's a big piece. The fortunate thing for LSU is that they've got some good young linemen. They just don't have enough of them. They've only got 11 scholarship offensive linemen right now. And so, an injury or two here and there, and you could be in a problem. If you look at last year, LSU had some injury problems. They had Will Clapp, who couldn't finish several games. They had some other guys along the offensive line that got hurt, that they had to shift people around. They're going to need the type of luck that they had in the 2015 season, to where they only had one starter miss one game. If they can get that same kind of luck on the injury front, they'll be fine. But if they run into a situation to where they have multiple guys who are hurt and they have to start shifting people around, then I think you could potentially see some problems, which is going to present more problems for Danny Etling, Darius Geis, and the rest of those guys.
Sonny, I'm looking at LSU's schedule, and I don't see anybody on there, maybe with the exception of Alabama, that I think they cannot beat. But this schedule is sneaky, consistently hard throughout the whole year. BYU and Syracuse, they're not upper echelon teams, but I think both of them on any given day could give a team like LSU headaches. You got 5 SEC road games, which is just an anomaly because last year you had 5 SEC home games because of the weather situation with Florida. And then you got that Arkansas team that always seems to give LSU fits. What's your thoughts on the slate in general?
Well, when you look at that schedule, you look at that pretty SEC schedule, and when I say pretty SEC, I mean the last 7 games are all SEC opponents. But if you look at those first 5 games, you open with BYU. BYU going, over the summer, Tiger fans were probably very, kind of beating their chest saying, okay, we've got this. This is not going to be an issue. I think now, as it's kind of getting closer, they're looking at Tanner Mangum, the quarterback for BYU. They're looking at, that strong linebacker core they have, and they're kind of looking ahead saying, this could end up being like Wisconsin was last year. Chattanooga game 2, that's not going to be anything to worry about. Then you have Mississippi State. You have to travel to Starkville. You face Nick Fitzgerald, a quarterback who I think is probably the most dangerous quarterback in the SEC, considering that he doesn't have the weapons that Jalen Hurts has around him. And so I think they're catching Mississippi State at the right time, because later on in the season, I think Mississippi State's going to be a team that you kind of have to worry about. Then you mention Syracuse, and then you have Troy before, to close out the month of September. Troy's got a lot of talent on that team. Not the type of talent that should come into Baton Rouge that should beat LSU, but if you go into, if LSU goes to that game thinking they're just going to sleepwalk through this, then they're going to run into some problems. And then you start hitting that, those next 4 games. 3 of those 4 games are on the road. You go to Florida, you get Auburn at home, you go to Ole Miss, you go to Alabama. Then you close out the month of November with Arkansas at home, at Tennessee, Texas A&M at home. There are some pitfalls on that schedule, and I think what it all boils down to is there's no question that LSU has the talent to contend this year, but it's a matter of whether or not they have the depth. They don't have a lot of depth at receiver. We've already talked about the offensive line. Quarterback, you have Danny Etling. After Danny Etling, who's coming off that injury, you have Miles Brennan, who's probably going to be your number 2 quarterback by the time you hit the meat of that SEC schedule. And so, you start looking at it, if you start racking up a few injuries here and there, the back end of that schedule is going to get really, really difficult. So I think it all boils down
to the SEC championship game. I don't know if they're going to have that in them, but I think that they will have enough to where they will be able to navigate the schedule better than they were able to in 2015 and 2016.
You know, it's pretty lazy whenever a guy asks a what-if question, and so obviously I'm going to do it. But what if LSU had been able to hold on to Shea Patterson's commitment a couple years ago? If Shea Patterson's at LSU, how much different would this program look right now?
Well, you know, I don't know. At the end of the day, when we're talking about Shea Patterson and we're talking about what Miles Brennan could be, you know, Miles Brennan, the 4-star quarterback out of Bay St. Louis, Mississippi, if Miles Brennan keeps progressing the way that he's just blown the doors off since he's been on campus for a little more than 2 months, then I don't think you're going to see much of a drop-off between Shea Patterson and Miles Brennan. And so, you know, I really don't think that is going to be as big of a key right there. For me, when I look at that situation, it's whether LSU is going to have the horses up front. Because, you know, you go back and we look at the last couple of years, LSU's played Alabama tough. They played Alabama close. They played them tough. But Alabama beat them in the trenches on both sides of the ball. I think LSU's defensive line will be good enough this year. But if the offensive line can hold up, then I think you're looking at a situation to where, you know, to where LSU goes from an 8-4, from a 9-3 team to that possible 10-2 or 11-1 team. And so for me, that's the bigger question. It is not looking ahead to the quarterback 2 or 3 years down the road, but because I think they're going to be fine at quarterback. I think Miles Brennan is going to open a lot of eyes, and he's going to have people not worried about Shea Patterson being in Oxford or wherever he is after this year, if he's still in Oxford.
Yeah. Well, one final question, Sonny, before we let you go. What's the latest on Arden Key?
Arden Key, you know, he's practicing right now. He's looking good. He's bigger. He's in that 265-pound range. And if you go back and you recall that first game that he had against Mississippi State, when I believe he had a couple of sacks, he was about 225 pounds, and that's soaking wet with the sweat and every humidity and everything on him. This year, I think he's going to probably, you know, once they start hitting that Syracuse, Troy, and Florida stretch, he'll be fine. He'll be at that 100% level. But the deal this year is that they've got a true freshman on the opposite end, Calebon Chason. He was a 5-star defensive end. He's going to be playing that outside linebacker position. Now, teams are not going to have to just worry about Arden Key. They're going to have to worry about Calebon Chason on the other end on passing situations, and that's going to create trouble because the athleticism and the dominant capabilities that Arden Key brought to the field, Calebon Chason is going to bring those same types of qualities to the field as a true freshman. And you can only max protect and double team on one side. That's going to leave one of those guys free on one side. And so if everything kind of falls into place and they keep both of those guys healthy, they're gonna be able to really affect the quarterback.
That's Sonny Shipp from Go 24/7. Sonny, thank you so much. Love to catch up again sometime.
Yes, sir, guys. Y'all holler at me anytime.
Thank you, Sonny.
Up against the break. Don't go anywhere. More to come right after this.
Lakeside Marina and Watercraft Rentals have spring fever and are happy to announce that Bennington is back. Lakeside Marina at Blue Creek is now Lake Martin's Bennington pontoon dealer with all models of Bennington pontoons that deliver speed, power, and stability with their elliptical sport packages and best-in-class styling and luxury. See the full line now for best selection as well as the all-new personal watercraft from Kawasaki. Lakeside Marina at Blue Creek, #1 for a reason. Lakeside Marina is also your authorized Easy Go kart dealer for Lake Martin.
Hi.
We're looking for insurance.
Oh, let's see who's free.
When insurance agents work for only one company, their options are simply limited.
Hey, buddy! fine.
But a Trusted Choice independent agent is free to shop many companies for a better deal. Free to do what's right for you.
Lyman Ward Military Academy is currently accepting applications for fall enrollment, with cadets reporting on August 19th. New drone and STEM programs added to the curriculum for the 2017 and 18 school year. If you're looking for structure, one-on-one academic help, athletic excellence, as well as leadership training, Lyman Ward is the school for you. For more information, visit our website at lwma.org or call our admissions director, Wynn Fletcher, at 256-675-6269.
Did your team just win the big game? Are you looking for a unique way to honor a valuable employee? Lila's Engraving has you covered, offering a large selection of custom trophies and plaques. Lila's also offers cast aluminum car tags, custom engraved wine glasses, clocks, and wood cutting boards. They even offer custom framing for any art or picture as well. Lila's combines the best quality items with the fastest service around. With over 27 years of experience in the Alexander City and Lake Martin areas, Lila's Engraving is your only choice for custom awards and engraved gifts. Always remember, winners choose Lila's.
Whether it's a walk-off home run, a game-winning touchdown, or a buzzer beater, make sure Jay's Sports Grill is in your lineup. Located in downtown Sylacauga and a short drive from Highway 280, Jay's has the food you're looking for. Whether it's wings, fingers, burgers, or salads, they have it all. Come bring your family for a great meal, come hang out with your friends for the big game, or call them at 256-207-0700 to place your order. Make sure Jay's Sports Grill is in your lineup.
This segment of Sportz Blitz is brought to you by Glenn Smith Automotive, carrying a full line of vehicle brands from Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, and Toyota. Highway 280 in Sylacauga and Columbus Parkway in Opelika. Glenn Smith, get ready to smile.
Want to thank Sonny Ship and Anthony Dasher for joining us. Not Donner, but Dasher from UGAsports.com and Go 24/7.
Dasher on Sports Blitzing.
How about that?
But I do think it's funny. We were talking about during the break. I love the unbridled optimism that everybody's had when we call, and I guess they should. But a little bit of the fanboy comes out in everybody. And I think these guys do a great job of walking the line as best they can. But in the end, Sonny Ship's an LSU fan. In the end, Anthony Dasher's an UGA fan. In the end, everybody else we've had for their respective teams is a fan of that respective team. And
Vanderbilt is established as a contender.
That's right. That's what one of them said, right?
The play-by-play guy.
Somebody's gonna be really disappointed this year, and it's like Sonny Ship, and God bless him. I love him. He had great things to say, very cool stuff, very informative. At the same time, I told you, I think it's like everybody loves to say you can't block them both when they talk about their defensive ends, no matter who your defensive ends are. And everybody says that. And that's universal for Alabama, Auburn, LSU, whatever. And it's sort of like when people say, well, they're running downhill. They're trying to, I guess. I mean,
you can't defend the run and the pass.
By the way, I've always thought that's kind of stupid. Have you ever tried to running downhill is harder than it looks.
It's easy to fall.
It's very, very difficult.
This is true. You can kill yourself running downhill. Well, that's good stuff. Unbridled enthusiasm. That's Billy Mumphrey's downfall.
We always work a Seinfeld reference.
True or false? Danny Etling is capable of leading the Tigers to Atlanta. Capable.
False.
I agree.
Do I need a lot of explanation? I mean, it's just like Sonny Ship said. He's got the lingering back issue, and he says he's 90%. I mean, I'm not even sure 100% Danny Etling's going to leave him to Atlanta. I mean, and I go back to this schedule. I mean, every game, if you just pulled a game out and said, can LSU win that game, I'm going to say yes to every one of them except Alabama. But when you mash all these games together, it gets difficult.
Absolutely. Fill in the blank. The most critical game on LSU's schedule is
most difficult?
Most critical.
Oh, most critical. I'm going to say Auburn. I think if LSU is jockeying for position with Auburn right now, and if Auburn goes to Baton Rouge and wins, Auburn has clearly established themselves as at least the second best team in the West, which essentially means you're the second best team in the conference. And if LSU loses that game, I also think it is the beginning of the end of that Orgeron mini era.
Over under 1,500 yards rushing for Darius Geis. Or Juice, however you want to say it.
It's Geis. I'm going to say 1,500 yards. Yeah, that's. I'm going to say over.
He had 1,387 last year.
Yeah,
with
sharing some time with Leonard Fournette. He didn't really split carries. He obviously ended up with more carries, but didn't he have more?
He had 183. Yeah, I think Leonard Fournette had like 140.
So I'm going to say that, yeah, he is over that.
Okay. We'll go ahead and take a break. We'll come back. We'll finish these out in the next segment. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more right after this.
Hi, this is Quinn Harrelson with Interlink Mortgage in Auburn, Alabama. There are 1,000 different questions people ask me every day about mortgage loans. They ask about buying investment homes, primary homes, and even second homes at the lake or the beach. I only have a limited time to say, call me and let's talk about what you want and how I can help you get it. Again, win with Quinn and call me today at 256-675-6259 so I can help structure a mortgage that best fits you and your family's needs.
Purchasing a new home is easier than you think, and America's Home Place can show you the way. For over 41 years, we've built thousands of homes for people just like you. We guide you through the entire process from purchasing a lot, finding financial options, to putting the finishing touches on your beautiful new house. Come tour our showroom and see over 100 customizable floor plans. Visit us online at americashomeplace.com/TV for a free floor plan book. America's Home Place. We make building easy.
Your comfort is our number one concern. Advanced Heat and Air.
Advanced Heating and Air makes your comfort their priority for any season. Advanced Heating and Air is the region's train dealer and an Alabama Power Superior Solutions dealer that can save you money and energy with a new electric heat pump. Advanced Heating and Air maintains the region's best service team, so rely on us to make your comfort our number one concern. Call 234-5052, and we're there for you.
Show Enough Barbecue. Since 1990, we've been serving you the finest barbecue in Alexander City. Gerald believes in cooking fresh meat daily, and the secret to that is, I'm not going to tell you. Show Enough is just not about barbecue, but also known for fresh vegetables and homemade pies. That's where I come in. I'm Linda Sanford, better known as the Pie Lady. We also do catering. For more information, give us a call at 234-7675.
Hello, I'm Harvey B. Campbell Jr., the manager and founding partner of Alabama Consumer Law, LLC. We are a law firm dedicated to helping you, the consumer, from all kind of debt issues. We can handle Chapter 13s, Chapter 7s, and Chapter 12s, and Chapter 11s if you need help.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers. We are a debt relief agency. We are a private company. We are not associated with any state or federal government agency.
Gotta get to Gills Auto Sales. We can finance, you got to get to Gills. Selection and price, got to get to Gills. Gotta get to Gills. Cars that fit your budget. Service that no one around can beat. Stop by today and test drive the vehicle of your dreams. Gotta get to Gills Auto Sales. We can finance you, gotta get to Gills. Selection and price, gotta get to Gills. Gotta get to Gills.
This segment of Sportz Blitz is brought to you by Hyundai of Auburn. You owe it to yourself. Call Hyundai of Auburn today at 334-321-0777 and visit them online at HyundaiofAuburn.com.
Wrapping up the LSU preview, we looked at the Danny Etling talked about his capability of leading the Tigers to Atlanta. Luke said false. Most critical game, Auburn in Baton Rouge. 1,500 yards rushing for Darius Geis. We say over.
Yeah, why not? Sure, why not?
If he's going to lead the SEC,
are there repercussions for getting it wrong? I mean,
if he's going to lead the SEC, I think he's going to have to be 15 yards over.
And I think he will lead the SEC. The only thing that does concern me is what Sonny Shipp just talked about is their offensive line. Look, they weren't necessarily a passing team last year, so it's not the lack of a passing game that concerns me. It's, are they going to be able to get enough push on that offensive line? Because look, every week when you play somebody in the SEC, you play a strong defensive line. So, I mean, that offensive line is going to have to be good. Darius Geis can make up for some mistakes, but I think they've got a running back named Darrell Williams behind him, correct? And I mean, he's
Brissett too.
Yeah,
there's another one. And always got
Williams isn't bad. He's a nice compliment, but he's not Darius Geis.
Well, what I mean, he talked about you got nothing behind Danny Etling but a true freshman.
Yeah.
If they're giving up sacks left and right, he ain't gonna last too long.
That's right.
So, because of the way he talked, though, that may be a good thing, Brennan.
Miles Brennan
set the world on fire.
Look, Miles Brennan, we saw him in the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game. He is very good. He's talented. He's a little I hadn't seen him since that game, but he was a little slight of build, and sometimes that can be a problem in the SEC.
Yes, it can. What's the chances Matt Canada improves the LSU offense by 50 yards per game? They were 423 yards a game last year. So what's
by
the
50
chances
yards
they
a
get
game?
473 yards a game?
Well, I'm going to say it's a 50-50 shot. How about that?
You couldn't be more vanilla.
Yeah, I'm trying. I mean, look, I'm not as everybody loves.
I think that's
Matt
a pretty
Canada.
good. I think that's a pretty high estimation. 50.
I do too. I'm saying everybody's very, very high on Matt Canada. I guess I just want to see what he does in the SEC. Now Pittsburgh is in the ACC, so I mean,
well, just going by how boring LSU's offense has been to some sort of innovation.
But I think overall SEC defenses are also better. So, you get 6-1, half dozen the other. They sort of wash.
That's right. Okay. What's the word for the future of LSU football under Coach O?
Terrifying, if you're an LSU fan. Look, here's the other thing I looked up. That LSU and Orgeron is known as this fantastic, unbelievable recruiter, right? They've got 20 commitments. They are ranked 5, 6, 7 in the country right now, but they do have 20 commitments. That's why they're ranked so highly. Their average star ranking is somewhere around 3.2. That's just not going to get it done at LSU. That's not exactly what they've been doing in the past. They need to have that ranking up a lot higher. Now they are still on the list of some big name guys. Patrick Surtain Jr., one of the best defensive backs that's come out of high school in a while, everybody's claiming. He has LSU as his leader, but Alabama's right on his tail, Florida's right on his tail, and I feel like that, if Ed Orgeron starts going down the wrong path, it'd be very easy for some of these big-name guys to go somewhere else. LSU has also let some guys get out of the state. The kid that just committed to Alabama, he's it's Slade Bolden. He is not exactly the best player in Louisiana, but he's pretty good and he's pretty shifty, and he's the kind of guy that LSU usually keeps at home. So Ed Orgeron made a conscious decision not to sign that guy, because I think he would have gone to LSU if they had pushed harder, and I think they just weren't pushing very hard for him. So Alabama saw something they liked in him, and Alabama's gone into Louisiana and gotten Landon Collins and Cam Robinson, and to name just a few, Eddie Lacy, just a few guys over the last couple of years that Alabama has gotten, and LSU probably should have kept home. But the thing that scares me is they have 20 commitments, and I'm telling you right now, Auburn's going to pass them. If this trend continues, Auburn's going to pass them in the rankings. Alabama's definitely going to pass them in the rankings. Florida, if they haven't already, should pass them in the rankings. You start rattling off teams they play every year that are going to pass them, and if you fall behind all your rivals, if you're number 10 in the country but number 8 in the SEC, that's a problem. You're going to get beat.
Absolutely. No doubt about it. What will the Tigers' record be in 2017?
I'm going to say 8-4.
Same thing that we did last year.
Yeah, I mean, I look at this schedule, and again, you pull out any individual game, and I feel like
9-4 with a bowl game, or 8-5.
9-4 with a bowl game. I mean, it's so stupid to predict a bowl game. You have absolutely zero idea who you're going to play. So you also don't know if somebody. Now, it didn't affect them last year, but what if Darius Geis pulls a Leonard Fournette and says, "I'm just not playing"? You know,
that ain't going to be good.
No. Well, I mean. And I'm okay with this, and really, I think everybody, all the anti-bowl people, I'm not one of them. I like the bowl games. I don't care how many they have. But I think all the anti-bowl people should like this because now you can say, okay, if people want to start sitting out, at least we can see who we're going to have next year. In most cases, I mean, as long as you're back up in the senior.
Right, well, I guess it's... All right, that wraps up our LSU preview. I think how many of these have we done? About 6, I think.
Do we just have
7?
No, we've done at least
8, 10.
No. Well, who do we have next week? You run the show.
Well, no, I take that back. We've got 4 left. So,
well, you got Alabama, Auburn, and who else?
And who's the top 2 in the
Florida,
Florida, and Tennessee.
Who's put Tennessee as one of the top ones?
They were
that was
second
you
last year. I'm doing it in order. From
you're doing it in order from last year's finish.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Good grief, man. Come on.
We should have done Tennessee like 3 months ago before we even – I think Tennessee is going to have the worst year.
No, they're not going to have that bad.
I think they're going to have a horrible – I couldn't believe the top 25 came out and they were ranked. I couldn't – it floored me that you can say, okay, we lose Dobbs, we lose the running backs of consequence, we lose some offensive linemen, lose a lot of defenders, lose Derek Barnett. And Tennessee's ranked in the top 25.
Loaded.
And Butch Jones is your coach. He's handing out rings for the size of the theoretical size of your heart, metaphorical size of it. It makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't get that. We'll go ahead and take another break. We'll come back. We'll close out the show on this rainy Tuesday evening. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more right after this.
My parents saved a bunch of money on their new car. My dad said we got a better car for less money. My mom's wildly happy. We even saved enough to get a new swing set. This saving money thing is really cool.
And right now, during the Honda Summerbration sales event at Sarah Honda, get model year-end clearance pricing on all remaining 2017s. Save up to $3,100 off MSRP. Visit us today at Sarah Honda of Sylacauga.
Skag, the toughest name in lawnmowers. Unmatched quality and performance for over 3 decades. The clear choice, the best mower money can buy for work or at home. Top lawn care professionals and discerning homeowners know that Skag means productivity and reliability. Every Skag mower is proudly built right here in the USA. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best. Skag.
Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City.
If you're seeing the American cockroach, throw up the red flag. Ladybugs, throw up the red flag. Ants and swarming termites, throw up the red flag. And kudzu bugs, throw up the red flag. That's Red Flag Pest Control. So the caution is on. Call Red Flag Pest Control today.
I'm Scott Davis with Red Flag Pest Control, celebrating our 10th anniversary. Call me today, 256-825-0430.
Hey, it's Steve from the Car Stereo Shop in Auburn, and after 10 years of serving the good people of East Alabama and West Georgia, we're still doing business the same way, offering the best products at the best prices with the area's best warranties and installing them with the area's best technicians. With great customer service, a knowledgeable sales staff, and our commitment to customer satisfaction, along with the best selection of the latest technology in the industry, there's no reason to shop anywhere else. Shop with confidence. Shop at the Car Stereo Shop in Auburn.
When you're born, you're really young. You're like 0 years old. My grandma tells me to quit growing up so fast. But what what can I do about it? My mom keeps throwing me birthday parties.
Russell Medical, comprehensive care in your corner of the world.
Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is the Lake Martin area's complete automotive solution. At Walls, you'll find a dedicated staff offering top quality service from routine maintenance to a full engine overhaul and everything in between. Brian Walls and the folks at Walls Tire are local folks that you know, and they provide the best service, always at a fair price. Find out what the rest of the Lake Martin area already knows. Walls Tire is the Lake Martin area's complete automotive solution. Just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
Get out and go in a new Altima, just $18,988. During the Nissan Now sales event, a new 2017 Altima is just $18,988 at Sarah Nissan of Sylacauga.
Welcome back, everyone, to the final segment of Sportz Blitz Live. Andy and Luke taking you home here. Time for a little rank 'em.
Okay.
All right. Here are. Have you seen these previews?
I've glanced.
Skimmed them. Okay.
Glanced.
These are, of course, this is just for you. This first one. Derek McKee, Robert Ory, Antonio McDyess, Latrell Sprewell, Jason Caffey. Caffey, rank them.
Okay, and I love him, but I'm going to put Caffey at the end of that. He had a nice little NBA career.
What if I would have put Jim Farmer?
I'd still put him at the end of that. Okay, but Caffey was great, and I like Caffey a lot.
What if I would have put Derek Pasick?
Brian Pasick?
Brian Pasick.
He's my buddy. I'd put him. I'd still put him last. But Antonio McDyess, I take that back. I'm going to go Robert Ory 1, and I know Robert Ory just punched out a dude who was heckling his son at a game. But Robert Ory Robert Ory took no gruff. He slapped Jamel Martinez from Kentucky so hard. I mean, Martinez is still talking about it. And at a game one time, Ory he's a winner. And the thing about Robert Ory, I'll never forget, Sporting News said he was the most overrated recruit coming out of high school that year in Andalusia. He said nationally, because at the time recruiting wasn't a big deal, and I was into it. And they had one little blurb at the end where he's like the best guard, the best forward, most overrated, most underrated. They had Robert Ory as the most overrated. He went on to win 11 billion NBA championships.
That overrated.
I know. He was just so smooth. I loved Robert Ory. And so then I'd probably go McDyess, who I enjoyed him at Alabama, but when he started hitting his stride was towards the end of his sophomore year. If he had stayed one more year, he'd been maybe the most dominant force Alabama's ever had. And then McKee, there was a great quote by Nate McMillan, who was teammates with Derek McKee in Seattle. And he said, Derek McKee is so smooth, he could be cussing you out and you wouldn't even know it. And I don't know what that quote means, but I thought, that sounds like Derek McKee.
Yeah.
He came from Meridian, Mississippi, home of Oil Can Boyd. It's only baseball trivia I know.
Okay.
And then who was the other one you had on there?
Latrell Sprewell.
Latrell Sprewell. And Latrell was pretty doggone good at Alabama. But he, when you choke your coach, I'm going to dock you a couple of spots.
And I mean, he had to feed his family.
He did have to feed his family and he's apparently had some financial issues, but I liked him a lot. The one I wish you'd put on there was James Hollywood Robinson.
I thought Hollywood was a candidate.
Hollywood was pretty doggone good.
Hollywood never saw a shot he didn't like.
I beat him in a game of hustle at Alabama.
Did you really?
It was just him and me at the Rec Center. I don't think he was playing his hardest. I got a sneaky suspicion. I think it was one of those things where I was like, I got ahead, and he was like, oh my God, he's ahead. And then I hit a shot I shouldn't have hit to win it.
That's something to hang your hat on.
Yeah.
The Price is Right, Wheel of Fortune, Family Feud, Match Game, $25,000 pyramid.
Match Game #1, the old Match Games with Charles Nelson Riley and the Ascot and everything had Gene Rayburn. They had the long weirdo microphone that he and Bob Barker are the only two people I've ever seen use. And all the sexual undertones of that. And people were drinking and smoking on the game. It was great. The pyramid one is the bottom one for me. I never liked that show. I would probably put Price is Right next. I like Bob Barker in the day. Whenever you got to stay home sick from school, the thing I waited for was 10 o'clock.
Yeah. Because
I love Price is Right. And then Wheel of Fortune. What was the other one?
Family Feud.
Oh, no, I'm putting Family Feud.
Richard Dawson, man.
Richard Dawson was pretty. Richard Dawson making out with everybody, male or female, whoever was in front of him. He was great. Now, even the new Family Feuds are great. My kids love Steve Harvey. We play, when we go on long trips, I am Steve Harvey. And I say, hello, everybody, welcome to Feud. We got a good one for you today. That's what he says every time. And and so I make up questions. And what's so funny is, like I make up a question, and then one of my kids will give the answer, and I'll say, that was number 2 on the board. They're like, how is that number 2? And I'm like, this is all arbitrary. I just made it up just now.
You didn't poll 100 people.
I didn't poll 100 people.
Well, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for Sports Blitz Live on this Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining us. For Luke Robinson, I'm Andy Graham saying so long for now. We'll talk again soon.
What value would you gain working with Lee Marketing Group? With 4 divisions under one umbrella, Sign Source, Lee Apparel, R&B Media, and LMG Baker Advertising Agency, Lee Marketing Group offers a comprehensive approach. From logo design and branding to ad placement and everything in between, LMG can handle it all. For ease of time, cutting-edge, results-driven marketing campaigns, think LMG. Lee Marketing Group, your comprehensive marketing solution.
Your comfort is our #1 concern. Advanced Heat and Air.
Advanced Heating and Air makes your comfort their priority for any season. Advanced Heating and Air is the region's Trane dealer and an Alabama Power Superior Solutions dealer that can save you money and energy with a new electric heat pump. Advanced Heating and Air maintains the region's best service team, so rely on us to make your comfort our #1 concern. Call 234-5052, and we're there for you.
Lake Area Realty is Lake Martin's Century 21 real estate company that proudly serves all the Lake Martin area. Rhonda Gaskin and her staff of caring professional realtors offers full sales for buyers and sellers in the area and can even help you with finding rentals or managing your current property. Whether it's your dream lake home, waterfront property, area family home in town, or just a starter home, Lake Area Realty can handle it all and advise you on all your needs. Buying and selling real estate is important to the professionals at Century 21. Lake Area Realty are your friends in real estate. Call or visit lakearearealty.net.
If you had $6,000, how would you spend it?
I'd pay bills.
How about a new car?
Vacation!
At Hyundai of Auburn today, you can get the new car and do the other things.
What? How?
Pick out your dream car and drive away with as much as $6,000 to spend however you'd like.
America's best warranty and $6,000?
Luxury and $6,000.
Be thinking how to spend your $6,000. HyundaiofAuburn.com.
Vacation!
The door's open, the beer's cold, and the biscuits are hot at Foshee Sportz on Dable Road in Alexander City. Fishing season is in year-round and live bait is available. Non-ethanol gas is available along with propane and pellet ice. So come on by and see what we're all about, where the kitchen is open Monday through Friday early at Foshee Sportz on Dable Road in Alexander City. And tell them old Katie sent you right here from the front porch, WAXC TV.
When you need plumbing service, call on the professionals at A&M Plumbing LLC. For over 20 years, our mission has been to provide the best possible service available in the industry, and we specialize in solving difficult problems. We offer a wide range of services, such as installation, service, repair, and replacement of common fixtures, water heaters, toilets, faucets, drains, sewer lines, and septic tank pumping and cleaning services. Unlike many companies, our septic tank services include field line testing. Our knowledgeable staff will be happy to answer any of your questions, so call A&M Plumbing LLC today.